Interpersonal conflicts are pervasive and inevitable. Like love and hate, conflicts are inherent in human interaction. Conflict can be defined in many ways. In its broadest sense, it seems to cover anything from wars to choices between what to eat for dinner. My name is Teddy Plesset, and I will be talking about how to manage interpersonal conflict in everyday lives. Conflict is not by its nature bad or negative, although obviously it can be destructive at times. Generally, the difference between constructive and destructive conflicts may be traced to the way they are managed. Conflicts present opportunities for change in a relationship. It can either strengthen the relationship by overcoming a problem, or it can destruct a relationship if an agreement can't be reached. I will be covering three things in this presentation: conflict management, constructive versus destructive conflict, and the different styles of conflict. The title of the article I chose is called Interpersonal Conflict Management by Professor Albert Roark, which falls under Chapter 7, Managing Interpersonal Conflict. The article talks about how individuals tend to have a preferred or accepted approach to conflict management. The more undesirable methods are power, smoothing over, and avoidance. Power results in suppression or in escalation. Smoothing over involves overlooking, hiding, or discounting the issues involved to maintain harmony, and avoidance does not meet the need of the individuals nor the issues addressed. All three approaches leave problems unsettled so that continued effort are required to resolve the problem. A more desirable method would be using compromise to manage conflict. When two people have a conflict and are both willing to make a compromise, then the chances of escalation is reduced. Conflict is considered constructive if it ultimately helps build new insights into the relationship and establishes new patterns of communication. If after a conflict both people feel understood by each other and closer to one another, then the conflict was constructive. For me, this tends to happen with new friends I meet and often determines whether we hang out again after that. Before learning this concept, I thought that all conflict was negative, and after reading about constructive conflict, I can see that it can be both good and bad. On the other side, destructive conflict dismantles rather than strengthens a relationship. If the individuals who experience the conflict feel like there may have been irreparable damage done, they are disappointed by the other, or they are having second thoughts about the relationship, then chances are the conflict was destructive. For me, my most destructive conflicts have been with my mom, and usually ended up with profanity being thrown back and forth, and then me punching a hole in the wall. The conflict was literally destructive, ending in hurt feelings on both sides. Usually, you have to take some time to cool down from so much emotion. Conflict style is the learned approach we use to manage disagreements with each other, with others. Each of us typically gravitates toward our preferred conflict style when facing a disagreement. Avoidance involves managing conflict by working around the problem and never addressing it directly. Competition is managing conflict by seeking to win, often at the expense of the other person. Passive aggressiveness is when someone will make the other feel bad or guilty for something, but will never confront you over it. But reading about this chapter, I would always wonder why some people would continuously do things to make me feel bad for them. But now I understand it's just a way that they deal with conflict. I would say I deal with conflict with more of a competition style opposed to others, because most of the time I feel as if I'm right, so I have to prove myself to the other person. Sometimes going out of my way and lying. Conflicts often present opportunities for change in a relationship. It can either strengthen or destruct a relationship. I feel in order to maintain healthy relationships, we should stay away from conflict as much as possible, but when it arises, know to compromise rather than to fight. Thank you.